Hello, my name is Raymond Darchevsky. I'm a living Christ. I should like to speak to you today about a living Christ. Eliminates the satanic New World Order and creates the second coming of Christ consciousness. It is something that must be said at this point in time, for we in our civilized world are going to face a harsh realization that we have been lied to all of our lives by people that we have placed our trust into, leaders of a satanic organization based in dualistic intellectual thought, Satan itself. I will not burden you with repetition, for I have been speaking now for 23 years on the internet, and I'm the real thing. I'm no scam artist. I'm just a simple man of truth, just like you. But you have lost sight of who you truly are, and you have been made to doubt yourself. You have been lied to all of your life, and you believe in these lies, these myths, these superstitious tales that hold your conscious mind captive. You're under mind control, a lot of you, satanic mind control. And the controllers are Satanists, who indeed control you through Satanistic methods of mind control, of institutions created by them, institutions of education, of schools, of government, of religion, of banking. They create the schism of duality, the masters and slaves. Guess where you fit in? You see, you are deluded into thinking that you are slaves. You, the living man and woman I'm speaking to, not the dead intellectual person created by government, satanic government. That's the only person they have jurisdiction over, the dead entity that they have created through their man-made laws. You are all living men and women, children of God. You no longer follow God's law, which is very simple, very direct, unambiguous. Do no harm and tell no lies. What do these two things have in common? They are non-dualistic. They are the truth that exists in your subconscious mind, the mind of God itself. You see, non-duality. However, you have chosen to live in the mind of duality, the conscious intellect, which must be programmable, must be trained, must be formed by trauma. That's what your educational system has done to you. It traumatized you into being believers of fictitious ideas, concepts, words. That's an illusory world that is created. And you must consent, you must contract, you must agree to live in that world. That's when you are transformed into a Satanist. for Satanists is an illusory, fictitious person. Person. That word person, you see, that's a creation of the Satanic institution of government. That is the only entity, the person, created by government, that government has jurisdiction over, because government itself is a fiction. It's dead. It's an idea. And whose idea is it? You must have been confused by your traumatic training to believe that you are a person. You are the creators of government. You are the creators of religion. You are the creators of banking. You are the masters of all these things, yet these fictitious ideas that you hold in your satanically ruled intellectual consciousness is the belief that that is real and you are worshippers of that unreality. Nothing could be further than the truth. You are the masters of your own life, the creators of your own life by your actions. And your quality of life is guided by your limited beliefs, your fictitious beliefs. And that is your life created. You create your own fictitious life. Because you see, in truth, you are the God of your life. And that God is immortal, beyond time. The life that you lead is limited. It's partial. It depends on birth and death, which are fictitious ideas that you hold in your consciousness, you see. You are beyond that. You don't believe that because you're so limited through your lifelong satanic conditioning. But deeply, you are touched by the words of this living Christ, this immortal Christ, who is a spirit, transcends time. It's living in a material body. That body is fragmented and based in a material world, a world of ideation. I am beyond the body. The body will die someday because it was born one day. And it lives in time. But you see, that which is beyond time, the eternal moment of now, is the eternal spirit of what is, of truth, of God. And that lives. It takes its form. But look at the form that your life has taken through your beliefs, through your conditioning, through the place that you have taken, the part that you play in this life. You are all living men and women, yet you believe yourself to be limited, slaves to ideas, to concepts, to rules, to man's law. You see, man's law is satanic because it's partial, time-bound, and it can only be found in the limited, satanically ruled intellect. You see, you also have another mind, and that is the subconscious mind. That is the mind of non-duality, the mind of God. Now, I've gone a little far afield here. Let's get back to my main message for today. And it begins with a communication to a man living in Tennessee. and it addresses his support of my work on the internet by donations that he has made. So let me begin by saying, Mike, I want to follow up my thank you letter to you for your donations to my work on the internet. I see that you are a current viewer of my videos. I trust that you are gaining considerable insight into the dark, satanic world that we live in, and is not available through the normal medium of mainstream, satanically controlled communications. Our relationship is one where the world that I, this living Christ, envisions is the reality of abundance, of peace, prosperity, and clarity. It is heaven on earth, and that is no illusion. It breaks us free from the delusion that we now hold, which creates our own hell on earth, one of division, competition, exploitation, and violence. That's how we're living. That's what civilized life is today. Now, I have been working toward that monumental task of creating a new Christ consciousness on the internet over the past 23 years to replace this present satanic, divisive New World Order of commerce, of control and compromise by the satanic powers of government, religion, and banking. Yes, those are your unholy rulers, Satan itself, the specter of power, control, division. Now, I envision a world of non-dualistic cooperation amongst men, not that of dualistic competition or exploitation that has gripped the present satanic consciousness of civilized mankind. You see, our world is about to collapse, and it is by design of those satanic leaders who have devised over the ages civilized systems of voluntary theft in the form of taxes, tithing, and third-party public contracting. Public. Keep in mind that word public, for these unholy institutions insert themselves as third parties into any illusory, satanic, legal, and religious system that is run by men acting as lawyers, judges, and priests. That is the power system of hell, and what you are presently ruled by, most of you, all of you, with the exception of very, very few. As in all legal, which are dead and illusory matters, Satan must concede to the power of non-dualistic living truth, which is God, and provide a remedy to all those, which allows for the capture of their power to capture the ignorant, conditioned intellects while granting freedom to the intelligent souls of man. I am addressing you at that level. And you are hearing me, and most of you are resisting what you hear because of your satanic conditioning. That is what the purpose of living on this earth is all about, to understand who you are, to live freely as the God of your own world. This all is traced back to the form of contracting. There's public contracting, which creates hell, and there's private contracting, which releases one from hell. Let's see. Private contracting between two-party agreements amongst living men, where the third-party government, with its satanic courts, religions, banking, and corporations, they have no jurisdiction over living men without those living men consenting to it through clarity and understanding. By inserting yourselves through a system of incremental conditioning, satanic, judicial, legislative, and executive, intellectually based systems of thought, buttressed by a banking industry that controls one's life force in the form of money, then and there, the satanic system of commerce is created. That is the inevitable construction of hell on earth, and you are its creator through your beliefs. Merely by switching to a two-party private contracting agreement that eliminates the hell created with manipulatable mumbo-jumbo, legal words, symbols, and ideas of worshipped graven images, which serve as man's satanic law, now present in a fictitious civilized world occupied by dead, government-constructed persons, non-living entities, you, the believer. It is the world in which the satanic spirit of commerce, now promoted by satanic third-party public contracting agreements, become a thing of the past, because the obstruction of law not applicable no longer poses a problem to free men, to non-dualistic living man and woman. I have looked at all of the ways to conduct life in our present world in a peaceful, cooperative manner, and have realized that it can be done only through private contracting in a present satanic dualistic system, without granting those Satanists jurisdiction over your life. I have proven this in the courts of Oregon in 2 trials where they sought to put me in prison for 40 years and found the juristic person, the dead entity that they created, guilty. But that was not me. And when I refused to accept their sentence because they did not prove they had jurisdiction over this living man, they set me free with no charges over my head. I have proven the separation between living man and a dead person. You, Mike, of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and a few others, are proving, along with me, that man can live in a presently satanic world and yet not be of it. That is your approach to the Christ state of consciousness. You're not there yet, but you're getting there. You know it. You can feel it. That life of Christ consciousness is accomplished by sharing and competing, not competing. See, that's why I have eliminated the usual steps which lead to wealth-controlled civilized hell. My writings are common law copyrighted to prevent the rampant use of my words by Satanists who would use them as their own. However, all of my work is free to all who wish to engage with them. But until our world changes, donations are appreciated. You see, when real worth is appreciated, such donations come naturally. It allows for one to learn that balance is necessary to live a life of truth. For that I thank you and the few others who have understood my message and show their appreciation. Let us work together to wake up the slumbering men and women who believe themselves to be persons, presently caught up in the satanic illusion of hell. The time is now. We must break free of the satanic New World Order and live as free men and women, sovereigns, children of God, in a new world, Christ consciousness. Thank you.